So one of the things I've really noticed about this game over the last few weeks, and this is based on not only my experience but feedback you've sent the channel as well, is that gameplay seems to be more inconsistent than it has been in a very long time. So as I do every Monday, I'm going to take a few minutes, we're going to talk about what's going on in the game, the changes that we need to see in this game soon, and more importantly, answer some of the questions you've sent the channel. What's up, my YouTube family? Graybeard with the Gaming Brigade, back with another Division 2 video. And as I said a moment ago, today is all about going over things that are happening in the game over the last week, answering questions you've sent the channel. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And we are having a giveaway for a PlayStation 5, but as always, I will go over those details at the end of the video. Now, the first thing I'd like to discuss today has to do with the things that we can expect this week. And as you can see, as of my recording this video, we have about 18 hours left with the current manhunt target, and keep in mind as I say that, this target will be available all season long. However, the double XP that you can earn for those first 15 shade levels that you gained since this target became available, that will expire tomorrow, and chances are most of you have already completed this. But for those of you that haven't taken advantage of that double XP as yet, make sure you do that today, because in this game, especially during an apparel event, anytime you can gain double XP is a very good thing. Which now brings us to the topic of the apparel event, and a lot of you have reached out to the channel saying you are met with the message you're about to see on screen when you are trying to open up an apparel event cache. Now, this has happened to me multiple times, and this goes back to things just not working consistently, where you will try to use one of the apparel keys that you've earned and you're met with a message, error occurred, could not handle request. Now, when that happens to me, what I do is I completely shut the game down, log back in, and that seems to do the trick. Now, if you try that and this does not work, let me know what's going on in your gameplay in the comment section down below. I will try to find you another workaround, but for me at least, this seems to work every time. You can see now I am logged back into the game. I try to use the key and everything is fine. But once again, this goes back to the game not performing on a consistent basis. And again, you know, stuff like with the apparel event, this is more of an annoyance than anything else. I haven't missed out on anything. You know, I talked about last week that I was also having an issue when I actually earned an apparel key in this game, because I would get a notification on screen that I earned a key. However, when I went to my inventory, there was no key there whatsoever, so I had to log out, log back in. That didn't work. I once again shut down the game. When I turned it back on, everything was fine. So I hope these are things they fix soon, because in my opinion, while these are not game breaking, they're incredibly annoying. Next, my friends, I'd like to talk about the subject of targeted loot, specifically a video I put out last week in regard to getting the Dark Winter SMG, which is supposed to be a PvP exclusive, as the game has said that multiple times. However, I received at least a dozen messages from people saying they actually got the weapon to drop randomly in the open world when they were doing some sort of an activity. And once again, the game has made it clear you can only get that through playing PvP. Now, there happen to be a few other ways as well, and this is something that I highlighted in that video, and most of you know this, but there are named caches, legacy caches. There are sometimes where the Dark Zone vendor may have one for sale, so you want to make sure you check that on a weekly basis. But based on what the game has said multiple times, those should be the only ways you can get that weapon. But over the last week, a lot of you have said you've actually faced the current manhunt target Bantam, and the reward you received at the end was the Dark Winter. Now, I know that the Dark Winter was in the seasonal reward track from Season 1, then subsequently Season 5 as well, but that weapon should not be dropping anywhere in the open world at all. So my friends, I call upon you, my YouTube family, let me know if you've seen it randomly in the game. Now, I'm in the process of putting together another farming video for that weapon, and it should be out, I'm hoping, by the end of this week. And as always, if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Now, another issue a lot of you have had in the game, and some of you haven't had these problems at all, by the way. Everything has been working totally smooth, which is awesome. But for a lot of you out there, when it comes to farming exotics, you've noticed two main things since Season 11 began. First of all, drop rates seem to be much lower for exotics than they were before, but again, the game has said multiple times they've changed nothing whatsoever. The drop rates are exactly the same. And secondly, that targeted loot does not seem to be working properly in the summit, in countdown, and sometimes in the open world as well, and that is regardless of how many directives you have active, which, as most of you know, should have an impact on the amount of targeted loot that you get when you're farming in the game. So So once again, agents, if you're running into this issue, please let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, once the game gives us any more information, I will definitely pass it along. Now, as I start to wrap this thing up, right now it is 9:15 a.m. Pacific, and the game has not said anything about what we can expect this week. Now, I was sincerely hoping we would see title update 17.2 because we know there are going to be a lot of fixes when that patch launches. And they may make the announcement later today that we can expect to see that tomorrow, which would be great. If not, I assume we're going to get it by next week, which I really hope happens because all of these things in the game for so many of you out there have made the game completely unplayable. We're talking about the summit, we're talking about Countdown. For me, farming the summit is now back to normal, but when I try to jump into Countdown, it is a complete and total mess. 90% of the time when I'm playing Countdown, half my squad is disconnected the moment I jump into a match, which obviously means I'm not going to jump into that game mode, and it's something I really hope they fix soon because I know it's affecting a lot of you out there, and it's something we really want to see fixed ASAP. One final thing I'd like to mention, my friends, is that I really do not enjoy making these types of news videos. I want to let you know things we can look forward to, not all the bugs that should be fixed by now. However, most of you know this, and this is something I will continue to always do with the channel, is I'm always going to let you know exactly what is going on from my perspective and from the feedback that you send me as well. And that's one of the reasons I brought up the issue with the Dark Winter, because if I make a video talking about these are the only ways to get something, but then a lot of you out there have gotten them another way, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information, which means that we are not being given the right information. Something is going on. I always want to get you those answers. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I will do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we are currently having a giveaway at the channel for a PlayStation 5. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced May 4th of this year. As always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible support of this channel. We are closing in on our 3-year anniversary here. We are knocking on the door of 50,000 subs. I cannot thank you enough for your continued support, and as always, like I said at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.